this up. Okay, Battle Truth on YouTube. You are one of my official go-to sources. As you know, I'm still involved in battle rap behind the scenes.
Niggas don't want to shout this nigga out, but this is the funny blogger, maybe in life. Salute the Battle Truth, man. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. This nigga is one of the funniest niggas on the face of the earth.
No, hold on. We got he's the man. I fuck with him.
Battle? Yeah,
I think he's dope.
You know, it's crazy. I just started watching him. Like, I just started watching like the last 6 months, but I'm like, yo, he know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? Like, he's funny.
He does know what he's talking about.
And and we kind of need that.
I just feel that he goes out the window with certain things that may not be true, and I just want him to.
I think he does it on purpose, though.
You think so? Well, if he does that, he's a genius.
He does it on purpose. He does it on purpose because it sparks the conversation. Yo, you heard what this nigga said?
Because it don't stop me from watching though.
Nah, because he's never gonna jump out the window and say some shit that you be like, what? You know what I mean? Because he gets his info, whoever his sources are. Because I don't see him at battles. I don't know if he goes to battles. So he gets sources somewhere.
That nigga's a legend, man. He don't need to go to battles. He's just a legend.
I don't even know where he lives. Where does he live?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Milwaukee. That nigga ill, so he's a legend. He just don't give a fuck. That nigga's in a judge outfit, nigga.
Yeah.
And he yells, no. Nigga blacked out. I saw shit today.
Are bloggers necessary for battle rap? That's just an opinion. But I just came here to share a little battle truth.
Where's my damn gavel at? Dang, hold on. Here! Take it! Bang the gavel on your damn self. Don't worry, I'll do it for you. No, man. Get up out of here with that trash, man. No.
I love Battle Truth.
What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. Let me tell you something. When I speak, I open the floodgates, huh? Yes. Surf is on his way home. People already trying to get it together. They looking for any excuse they can to have a reason to justify his acceptance as a means of, as a means of them just wanting to, I'm gonna give a clean version to polish the man off. But this all I'm starting to see now. A lot of gateways to have an excuse to polish the man off. Because here's the thing that's crazy about this situation, right? If it was anybody other than Surf, there's not even a debate. There's not even an argument here. Especially when it comes, well, and for the most part, it's for people who are in the battle rap community. Anybody outside of the battle rap community already know point blank, without a doubt, oh yeah, he's snitching, he's telling. It's just the people in the battle rap community who hope that they can have favor with Surf in some type of way or continue their relationship, that they're going to find any excuse they can possibly use to actually stay. Stay if you want to stay. But don't say that it don't say what it say. You can stay if that's what you choose to stay. You can support if you choose to support. But don't say that it don't say what it says. What is the motive and intention behind me actually covering this? I cover this because God wanted exposed. That's why I cover it. When you see what's going on in this world, how they try to paint the picture of how gangs and these gang leaders and everybody want to be a part of a clique and a crew, and it's leading to so many brothers being murdered and killed and incarcerated, so many abandonments of children being left without fathers and mothers in a home. These things need to be exposed instead of trying to make it look popular, attractive, and polarizing the glamorous life of a drug dealer and a slash street nigga stick up man. No, these things need to be exposed. So what you find out is that it is all lies, even though these men do have histories of hurting people, taking from people, being really about that life when it comes to civilians and when it comes to other people like them. But they never really about that life when it comes to true authority that can match their energy. There's nothing worse than a man who take the life of someone else, especially when you pulling guns on people who's unarmed. That we see happens a lot of time. The majority of these killings that taking place is from men who firing shots off on people who is unarmed and have no weapons on them. But when the police come, they always fleeing, they always running because they are scared to match the energy of someone armed like them that is licensed to kill. Have y'all noticed that? So all in the music, all you hear from people is gang, gang this, gang, gang that. We over here, we over there. Crip this, blood this, gangster this, blood this. Like, that's all you hearing. They try to make it attractive so that it could actually deceive and mislead the youth. But they crack every time under pressure. As tough as they be sounding on wax, as tough as they make themselves is on the internet, every time it's time for them to face the actions of their crimes, they buckle and fold every time. And then get back out, tough, gangster again. Oh, I'm tough, all on my homie, on my dead mama, on the block, on the hood, on the gang. We're going to expose the enemy who influences these men to do the things that they do, by which it corrupts the youth. Make no mistake about it. Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. I am Yahweh, your God. Yahweh is your God. Not Crips, not Bloods, not gangsters, not Vice Lords, not Blackstones, not GD, BD. God, Yahweh is your God. Everybody who live in those organizations, when you die, you're going to bust hell wide open and stand before the living God as an idolater. Idolatry. That means you chose another person, another God who is false over the one true God, your Lord Jesus Christ. That's what you're going to find out. Make no mistake about it. Gangsters don't go to heaven. Crips and Bloods don't go to heaven. I don't care how you feel about them. I don't care how much you love them. I don't care how much they were your friends and relatives. Heaven is not a ghetto. Heaven is the holy, righteous kingdom of the living God. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. God is the authority. The Lord Jesus Christ sit and reign as king and judge. Anyone you have over him, you fall into the judgment. So this will be exposed. It's going to be exposed from everybody that actually took the seat and ate at the table of Satan to try to corrupt the youth, to paint this false identity of what real is. So what you find out, these brothers, is real fake. Real fake. And they hurt people as a means of priding and exalting themselves. So let's get off into this. Because this is finna be good. Did Surf snitch? Hell yeah, he snitched. Yes, let that be documented. Let that be recorded. Let this be recorded. That's exactly what he did. That's what the paperwork says. That's what the government accepted. That was part of the plea deal. Tell us everything we need to know. Give us the information and let it go on record that you, not Sue Surf, but Rajon Cox, your government real name, is testifying on behalf of the state with your testimony against the Rolling 60s and the members who you are associated with, by which y'all are all under this indictment. I want to give credit to what credit is due again to Byron Blake, who actually covered this very, very well. Okay? But when you attach battle truth to it, look at the energy. Oh yeah, everybody gonna talk. Good. Let them talk. It need to be discussed. So let's have the conversation. Let's listen to Surf. What I'm going to play, y'all, is Surf standing in front of the court as a state representative for the state and actually giving his testimony and his actions of not only what he did, but what the Rolling 60s did as an organization by which the RICO was established on his testimony. Now, he's not only speaking as a member, but he's also speaking as a leader. Why is that important? Because as a leader, he's speaking being the representative of the gang by which they are all indicted. So he's speaking as a member / leader in the organization by which he speaks on behalf of the organization in the testimony that he's given, that you finna clearly hear. So watch this.
The court. Thank you, Mr. Whipple. At this time, Mr. Cox, I am going to proceed to the factual basis, and once again, your verbal acknowledgments are required.
See, his verbal acknowledgement is required. Why is this important? I want y'all to get this through y'all head. Why is this important? When the state having all this paperwork and presenting it before the proper people in command to give the go-aheads, you have the documentations. What's missing is the body to confirm the documentations. See, when you just come with the paperwork saying they did this, they did this, they did this, they did this, they did this. Okay, that's one part of it. But do we have a physical representation of a person who's affiliated with these documents that can vouch for the documents and saying, yes, what's on the paper is correct? And I am a witness to it because I also had a part in it. That's what Surf come in at. That's why they said we need your verbal acknowledgement. This has to be stated, recorded on file, that the documents that said about y'all is true, and we need a member from that to actually say so, to sign off on it. That's what Surf come in at. This is what they saying as a state. We have the documentations. Now we need a physical representation to support the documentations. That's what's going on. Now you need a body. Surf is the body. Who is he speaking as? A member of the Rolling 60s that is under the RICO, along with other co-defendants that he's now speaking as a leader on behalf of. Let's listen to more.
From at least in or around 2015 through on or about September 22nd, 2022, were you a member and associate of the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crips gang, known as the Rolling 60s or the Enterprise?
There you go. That's them establishing RICO. Clear. That's clear. Surf answer to this establishes the RICO. Notice the word that's being used here. Were you a member and associate of the Rolling 60s Neighborhood Crip gang, known as Rolling 60s or the Enterprise? So anytime you see Enterprise, you could just change that word for Rolling 60s gangs in the documentation. So Surf answering this question establishes the RICO or go against the RICO. If he say yes, the RICO has been established. If he says no, he's going against the RICO that actually claims the Rolling 60s is a gang that actually participated in criminal activity by which they are now indicted. That's what's happening here. So that's the question that's presented before the courts to substantiate the RICO. Now, what's important about this, pay attention. Gunner was called the snitch in the YSL case with Young Thug them and all them because of what? He established before the courts that YSL was not a record label, but a gang. The moment he established that it was a gang, that established the RICO by which they were up under, that they needed to confirm by a member who was also associated with it that was in it. So it's not now, so it's no longer the state word or the feds word against your word. Now your word confirms the state. So it ain't the state word against yours no more. Now you sided with the state by which it is, by which y'all have been charged. And that's why Young Thug was saying, man, why did he say we was a gang? I'm telling them we a record label. The moment he say we a gang, you establishing the RICO. Exactly. That's why he was called the snitch, because he let it be known that they were not a record label, but they was actually a gang. It's the same thing being presented before Surf. Are you a member of the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crip gang? Or the Rolling 60s, the Enterprise? Are y'all this gang? Just like Gunna. What did Surf say?
The defendant. Yes, ma'am.
That's very important. Now, it's established as the gang. Now, along with that, they have to prove criminal activity, at least. According to RICO, you have to be established as the gang or enterprise, so that's a criminal enterprise. But it has to be established that 2 criminal crimes have been committed within that enterprise. Look how they set Surf up. So Surf is going to give location in actions that they did to substantiate the RICO. So notice, they're not asking him personally only about himself. Notice they continue to attach the gang with him, the members with him, the associates with him. So he's speaking on behalf of them in his answering. My gosh.
The court. Did the Rolling 60s operate in the District of New Jersey?
Location.
The defendant. Yes, ma'am.
What were the rules?
The court. Did the enterprise have rules, traditions, and protocols that you followed as a member and associate?
See that? Notice what it keeps asking. His questions are always attached to the enterprise, to the gang, because he's speaking on behalf of them. This is very important because he's the first one taking the plea. Pay attention to that because it's going to come up later.
The defendant. Yes, ma'am. The court. During the time that you were a member of the enterprise, did you knowingly conspire, that is, agree with other members and associates of the enterprise to commit at least 2 criminal acts in furtherance of the enterprise?
Right there. There you go. Did you and the others? Did you and the others? See that? Did you and the others? Associates, plural. Members, plural. The enterprise, plural. So not only your actions, but how about the other members and associates of the enterprise to commit at least 2? That's RICO. Did y'all commit at the least 2 criminal acts in furtherance of the enterprise? In furtherance of the enterprise. Did y'all commit these things to further y'all actions as an enterprise? What did Surf say?
The defendant. Yes. The court.
So y'all see that. He's admitting now to the RICO even being stronger. Yes, we committed more than 2 crimes. See, remember RICO? Establishing as a gang enterprise that committed criminal acts on government soil. So remember, are the Rolling 60s a gang? Yes. Where did y'all operate at? New Jersey. That's government soil. That's the state. You're proving location. Okay, on our turf. Correct? Correct. Did y'all have rules and regulations? Yes, we did. Okay? And what is your part? What is your part in this gang? Right? So look what he said. What was your part, sir? What was your part in the gang?
The court. Were you in fact an organizer, leader, manager, or supervisor within the enterprise, Mr. Cox? The defendant. Yes.
Okay, right there. So he's speaking as leadership. He's speaking as leadership. Therefore, the RICO is established. And they have the body representation to substantiate the documentations. There you have it. There you have it. Just that simple, plain and clear. There you have it. There's no way to get around that. It's no way to get around that. That is snitching at its highest degree. Hold on. Watch this. I love this part too.
About the entire case. In the eyes of those familiar with this process, this was the most telling sign of Surf's cooperation. How could the probation office tell the entire story of the other co-defendants if the other co-defendants hadn't yet been sentenced and met with the probation office themselves?
Very important to know. If you look at this yellow documentation right here, a lot of people may not know what they're looking at. So let me show you what you're looking at. Look at all the dates that's lined up there. If you see number 7 right here, if you see number 7 right here, number 7 right here says Rajon Cox, that's Surf. His case was closed December the 1st, 2023. Notice everybody else's case is closed after him, 24, 25. 2024, 2025. This is very important to know because him being the first one to take the plea, let me show y'all something, what he did.
His report, and during this meeting, he would discuss not only his personal history, but his history with the gang as well as his version of the events that he pleaded guilty to, including the racketeering conspiracy. During this meeting, Surf would admit that he joined the set when he was 13 years old and also admit to his role in the marijuana conspiracy, essentially sticking to his promise to not change his story prior to sentencing.
Right. Notice what it says right here. Additionally, during the previously mentioned time period, did you Surf knowingly and intentionally conspire with other members and associates of the enterprise to distribute and possess with intent to distribute at least 40 but less than 60 kilograms of marijuana across state lines? Notice what it's saying. Not only your participation, but the others' participation by which y'all are all under this indictment.
On November 30th, 2023, Surf was sentenced to 60 months. During sentencing, Surf's attorney would highlight how 77 of the 83 counts of the indictment made no mention of Surf. And although Surf was the first to plead out and thus the first to have his case closed, at his sentencing,
See, very important. When he did that, what that did is made it harder for everybody else to fight their case because his statement and testimony would also be used against them whether or not they take a plea or cooperate. Let me prove that too.
His attorney would compliment the probation department in working really hard on this case and putting together a very comprehensive report that tells the whole story, about other defendants, about the entire case.
See that? Right there. Notice what it says right here. And I have to compliment, right, the probation department and working really hard on this case and putting together, watch this, y'all, and putting together a very comprehensive report that tells the whole story, about other defendants other defendants. This is Surf's probational thing that was a part of his probation thing. Not only telling the whole story, not only about him, but about the other defendants, about the entire case. But also, most importantly, the personal history section of this report really captures who my client is. See, you know why that's important? Surf the only one took the plea at this time, like I just showed you in the paperwork. So in order for them to get the whole story about the defendants, when he the only one that took the plea, he had to give them information on the other defendants by which he was given the plea. Defendants, plural. Watch this.
In the eyes of those familiar with this process, this was the most telling sign of Surf's cooperation. How could the probation office tell the entire story of the other co-defendants if the other co-defendants hadn't yet been sentenced and met with the probation office themselves?
Facts. Look at the dates again. He took his plea on the 12th, December the 1st, 2023. Number 7 right there. That's Surf, Rajon Cox. No one else had pled. No one else had played. He's the first one to take the plea. Therefore, his testimony is severe against them. I'm going to show y'all.
As if this wasn't enough to raise eyebrows, Surf was then given the lightest sentence of all the defendants charged in the case.
That's one of the reasons why the person who take the plea first get the lightest sentence, because they're the first one to cooperate and give information to confirm, substantiate all documentation by which arrests and indictments are given. That's why they be telling you, you better tell first, because if your other guy tell, we ain't going to be able to really help you out and look out for you as much as we would have did if you would have did it first. So we got your guy over there, we got you over there. Who the first one going to tell? Because if you don't do it, he going to tell. And if he tell us, then it's too late for you. So you want to give us what we need, or should we get it from him? That's why Surf was given the lightest sentence.
In a recent interview, Sammy the Bull would speak on John Gotti's no plea rule.
It's very important. Sammy the Bull is going to speak about why John Gotti had advised everybody in the mob, if they ever got arrested, why you never take a plea deal. This is what he said. This was the rule that he implemented, John Gotti, within their mob.
He would state that this wasn't an actual mafia rule, but a rule that John Gotti himself put into play. According to Sammy, the reason John implemented this rule was because he knew that whatever statement given by the person taken during the factual basis portion of the plea could and would be used against others who the government wanted to target for racketeering.
See, John Gotti had a rule that he put in play of his organization, that no one takes a plea, because anything you say under that plea to get a lighter sentence, a deal, that it's going to be used against everybody else. And this was in the beginning of when RICO law was actually first being started and presented. He knew that this thing was put in play to tear down crime organizations and gangs. You know what I mean? So he was trying to find a way to work against it. And he knew one of the ways you could work against it is that you strictly enforce the rule of members not taking plea deals to give information about the organization that was going to be used against the organization.
The RICO law was fairly new around John Gotti's time, and he was coming up with a strategy for how to fight it because he knew what they were doing. By taking this plea, Surf went on record stating that the Rolling 60s were a criminal enterprise operating in New Jersey, yet founded in and being supplied by Los Angeles, California.
See that? That's very important, because with that information, now they have who's the one that's empowering them, who's the one that's supplying them. If the headquarters is in California, because remember, the Rolling 60s is a gang from California. They don't even have Rolling 60. They don't even have California streets in New Jersey, by which this gang was named after of. So if Surf is letting them be known that the headquarters in California, now you attach the two. And this is why soon after this indictment, there was another hit from the Rolling 60s hitting in California. So they hit them in New Jersey. Then you find out, like, oh, they tied to California. And then what hit after the Surf Lim indictment? California got indicted. Watch this.
This would allow the government to then turn its sights towards Los Angeles as they look to criminalize the Rolling 60s as a neighborhood in their efforts to target senior members of that community, the same senior members who fund the youth sports programs and run gang intervention programs.
Very important. The Surf Lim get hit first under Rolling 60s, then establish that Rolling 60s is actually it's under the Rolling 60s, who's the father of their branch, which is in California. Then Big U and them get hit. Remember Surf on record all the time. Big U, the OG Big U, all this. Then they get hit after. See that? Can't get around stuff like this. Let me show you something else about testimonies. Here go more about testimony. Yeah, God won't expose the devil at every cause. Every cause. Watch this. Okay, now, here's the misrepresentation that people were trying to do to actually make an excuse for Surf by saying that his plea deal cannot be used against other members as a result of him pleading that his plea testimony can't be used against others. Well, that's a lie. Why do you think they need the plea? Why do you think they want it? If it can't be used, what's the purpose of us wanting it? What's the purpose of us having it? What's the purpose of it being given to us? What's the purpose of us giving you a lighter sentence? What's the purpose of us dropping some of your charges? Because Surf had 6 charges. They dropped them down and gave him 2. He had 4 or 6 charges. They gave him the 2 lightest as a result of his testimony. So what's the purpose of them doing all this for exchange for his testimony if they wasn't going to use it? That's stupid. But let's see what this says. Because if you Google and actually type this up, look what it says. Look what I typed up. Can a plea deal, I'm going to go right here just so we can see. Hold on, nope, let me take that out so y'all can see it all. I said, can plea deals be used? Even though I already know this stuff. I did 10 and a half years in prison. I know how this go. Okay, but this just to continue to expose and break down liars. Okay, can plea deals be used as evidence against others? Watch this. Generally, plea deals cannot be used as evidence against the defendant who made the plea. Why is that important? It's not going to be used against Surf who making the plea, because part of the plea is to give the testimony for the agreement by which we now giving you a lighter case for your testimony, giving you a lighter sentence for your testimony. So the plea will not be used against you because this is what we want in exchange for what we're giving you. So it won't be used against you unless you lied. Look what it said. Due to rules like Federal Rule of Evidence 410, which protect withdrawn guilty pleas, no contest pleas, and the statements made during plea negotiations. However, the rules are different for co-defendants. See that? These rules are different for co-defendants or co-conspirators in this case. Statements from a plea deal can sometimes be used against them. See, even though Surf may be protected as a result of him making the plea, because that was the agreement by which they needed his testimony to actually use against the co-defendants and co-conspirators. Notice what it says. However, the rules, watch this, however, the rules are different for co-defendants or co-conspirators in this case. Statements from a plea deal can sometimes be used against them, especially if the person who made the plea deal agreed to testify against them as part of the agreement. Not only that, watch this though. So this is speaking about that. Watch this. What is the exceptions of these things? Exceptions. The evidence can be used if the defendant later uses a statement from the plea negotiations, and in fairness, the other side needs to introduce the original statement to be considered with it. It can also be used in a perjury or false statement prosecution if the statement was made under oath and on the record. Now, watch this. His testimony against co-defendants. Plea deals can be used. Statements made, watch this, plea deals can be used. So when Surf gave his statement for the plea deal, look what it says it does to the co-defendants. Plea deals can be used, sometimes made in a plea negotiation, or the existence of a plea arrangement can be used against co-defendants, especially if the defendant agrees to testify as part of the deal. But watch this. What if he don't want to testify? Cooperation agreement. A plea deal might include an agreement to cooperate and testify against other defendants. The testimony itself is used as evidence in court. So he don't even necessarily have to testify against none of them. The testimony itself is evidence against them in court. You see that? He ain't even got to tell them. He ain't even got to say, I'm testifying against them. But the testimony itself he gave will be used against them in court. However, the DA and them see fit at their discretion. Let me show you this. Watch this. Can plea deals be used as evidence against co-defendants? Yes, plea deals can be used as evidence against co-defendants in some situations, as plea agreements often include provision that require the defendant to testify against their co-defendants. However, the plea deal itself, the admission of guilt, generally cannot be used as evidence, although the prosecution can use the co-defendant testimony to their role in the plea deal to strengthen their case against other defendants, potentially leading to harsher penalties for those who go to trial. See that? The reason why that's important is, remember it said Surf took the first plea deal? So it made it harder for the others after him, by which it forces others to take a deal also. Seeing that his statement can be used to strengthen cases against them, by which it leads to them also making the plea deal or make it harder for them to go to trial. Look what it says right there. The co-defendant's testimony or their role in the plea deal to strengthen their case against other defendants, potentially leading to harsher penalties for those who go to trial. See that? His testimony can be used against the co-defendants. See that? We ain't gonna play these games. So that right there is open and close. That's open and close right there. Can't get around that. Now, I see how people don't want to admit the truth, but you don't have to. But I'm so glad these things being exposed. All these rappers and killers and gangsters and thugs. Gangster this, bout it this. But fold and crumble and tell and snitch. All them people who being exposed got all type of songs. Stop. We hate rats. We hate snitches. We hate that. Don't do that. You snitch, you get clapped. You do this. Trying to inspire other people to do the dirty work and do them things. But then guess what? They do it themselves. They do it themselves. Look, that life is trash. That life is terrible. It's not good for anybody. You a father and got kids and you still gang banging, shame on you. You still in a gang, shame on you. You young, you've been misguided, and your father ain't in your life, and you just being brought up wrong. Gangs is not the answer. Gangs is not the way. No matter how hard life get for you, put your trust in the Lord Jesus Christ. Walk in faith, and God will bring you through. You will be successful, you will live longer, and you will not have to worry about going behind those bars. You don't have to go through life looking for acceptance, looking to belong somewhere. God love you. God will cover you. God have you. Trust in that. Do not chase after this false fairy tale of riches that the streets promise you, because the end result to the streets is always the same. Jail or hell. Make no mistake about it. Surf did snitch. He did tell. His statements was used. That's the whole purpose of the negotiation. That's the whole purpose of the plea deal. So it can be used. What's the purpose of us getting this information if we can't use it? It's no good to us. Why are we going to lighten your sentence to use a testimony that we can't, to get a testimony we can't use? Here, take it. Take it. Bang the gavel on y'all damn self. Everybody who believe that this man didn't snitch, because he did snitch. Glory to God for exposing it. Now, hopefully, he can get out of that mess. How you going to change if y'all don't hold him accountable? That's why he keep repeating the same cycles. Because y'all congratulate and condone and honor this stuff. It need to be exposed. No, 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 no. And get out of here with this trash. It need to be exposed. It need to be told on. Hell, that's what he did. Damn, y'all like a person that much, man. Come on, grow the hell up. Be a man. Because you like a rap. Man, get up out of here. People terrible. Y'all worship anybody. Y'all don't never defend God. Y'all don't never stand for truth when it comes to him. But y'all to go to war for a person who can't do nothing to better or fix your life or add extra years to it. All these people involved in this stuff is fake. Get up out of it. He snitched. He told. Simple as that.